The Song of a Servant, the life and legacy of Mitchell Gibbs. In the foothills of Alabama, in a place called Miller's Hollow, a child was born in 1955, the youngest of 7, to a red-headed mother with gentle eyes and a father forged hard by the labor of the pipe mill. His name was Mitchell Gibbs. And though the family was poor, heaven had already marked him rich in spirit. Life in the hollow was humble. Dirt roads, tin roofs, and the scent of coal smoke and wild honeysuckle. The boy they called Mitchell grew up barefoot in the dust, learning early that hard times make strong hands, and that kindness, when you find it, was worth more than gold. As a boy, he'd wandered down to a neighbor's house, knocked softly, and asked for a can of pet milk. The older woman would always smile and hand him one, her small act of grace etching itself into his heart, proof that love can show up even in the smallest moments. His mama took him from one church to another, not for faith, but for fellowship. But somewhere between the hymns and the handshakes, Mitchell found what she was really searching for. He found God, not in a pew, but on a rock in the woods, around 9 years old, where heaven met the heart of a little boy. And later, under the lights of a traveling tent revival, he was saved. And the fire that started that night would burn for a lifetime. Years passed, and one summer afternoon, Mitchell saw her, a blonde-haired girl on roller skates, working at a drive-in called the Pickle Burger. Her name was Debbie, and from that moment, she wasn't just a girl on wheels. She was the answer to a prayer he hadn't known he prayed. They married young, with faith and hope as their dowry, and soon after, their first child, Jennifer, was born. They moved to Jackson, Georgia, chasing opportunity and building a simple life on a small dairy farm. They didn't have much, but they had music, and that was enough. Mitchell carved wood by hand, life-size works of art that told stories of faith and struggle. And in the evenings, when the chores were done, he'd pull out a guitar or a mandolin, teaching his children bluegrass, harmony, and how to find God in a melody. It was in Georgia that a calling began to take form. Alongside his brother Fred, Mitchell started a house church that grew into a storefront ministry, proof that the Spirit of God can move just as mightily in the humblest of places. In 1994, Mitchell returned home to Miller's Hollow, where it all began. There, on the same ground that shaped his youth, he planted a church where his mentors once preached, and where his roots reached heaven once again. From that small beginning flowed generations of ministry. Mitchell and Debbie raised 4 children, Jennifer, Elizabeth, Martha, and Matthew, each answering the call of God in their own way, each carrying the torch of their father's faith. Between them, they built not only families but ministries, voices of gospel echoing across pulpits, living rooms, and nations. Mitchell's hands, once small enough to hold a can of pet milk, become the hands that built altars, played gospel strings, and cradled grandchildren in prayer. His life was proof that faith can turn poverty into purpose, that obedience can turn obscurity into legacy. And even now, though the path has not been without pain, as the family grieves the passing of his beloved son Matthew, Mitchell's story stands as a testament. What is born in the hollow can rise to the heavens. Today his legacy stretches far beyond bloodlines, into every message shared by his children, every hymn sung by his grandchildren, every soul touched by the church that still stands in Miller's Hollow. For Mitchell Gibbs, the gospel was never theory, it was testimony. It was the song of a boy who found God on a rock, the love story of a man who found his bride at a drive-in, and the life work of a father who built churches out of faith, family, and bluegrass. And perhaps when the Lord calls his name again, he will say, "Mitchell, you've done well. You found me on that rock as a boy, and you built your life upon it as a man. Because for those who knew him and those who came from him, Mitchell Gibbs will always be remembered as more than a man of Miller's Hollow. He is its song, its shepherd, and its steadfast rock. Happy birthday to my father, Mitchell Gibbs. May God bless you and keep you. I love you.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. Grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieve. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Guitar, I named him Splinters because that's pretty much what he was when I got him. They was a friend of mine at Gary Bond that lived down there on Pleasant Valley Road, and I went to see him one day, and there's an old paper shell case laying there with a bunch of busted up guitar parts. And I asked him about it, and he said that he'd bought it at Trade Day, and he didn't know the story behind it, but it was all busted up, and he thought he'd get it for parts. So I asked him if he wanted to sell it. He said he'd he'd give it to me, and said he didn't really believe it was a Gibson. It had a Gibson peg head, but it was shaped a little different. And I brought it home, and we run the serial number on it, and it was a Tex-Mex guitar from that Gibson made in 62, 63. And they didn't make any more of them because they wasn't very popular. Wasn't very good guitars. And But I started gluing. I glued it together one time. It come back apart, and I found a Seagull guitar that was busted, and I took the parts of it and put a fretboard on it and changed the bridge and all, and put it back together and got it playing. And from time to time I have to readjust something and all, but it made a so Splinters can sing again. That was before I met you. I never saw one that I wanted for mine. That was before I met you. Thought I was swinging the world by the tail. Thought I would never be blue. Thought I'd been kissed and I thought I'd been loved. That was before I met you. I thought that no woman could ever hold me. That was before I met you. Thought I would ramble and always be free. That was before I met you. Thought I was swinging the world by the tail. Thought I could never be blue. Thought I'd been kissed and I thought I'd been loved. That was before I met you. This hat, it ain't no telling how old it is. I used to go to flea markets and I'd come up on them and look inside, and they'd be a Stetson that'd say 3X or 5X beaver, and they made out of real good quality stuff. And I had several of them, and my nephew Michael Young, back in the early 90s, he would come by and I'd give him a hat. So he had a couple of my old hats, and he moved out of this hat. If you'll see these holes in it, I'd like to tell you that was where I was feuding with the Hatfields and McCoys, or fighting Indians with arrow holes, but that's not really bullet holes or arrows. When he left that house, he left them hats in there, and them rats that inhabited the house decided that they got hungry and they started gnawing holes in the hat. So that's not, I'd like to tell you something noble like that's a bullet hole, but it ain't. That's where a rat chewed a hole through there. And a hungry rat will just about eat anything. In the wintertime, our old fellowship hall in our church, I'd go in the bathrooms after a cold winter night, and there'd be a bar of soap, and the rat would be done gnawed on the soap. Them church mice, they don't cuss because they got soap in their mouth. And then, but sometimes gnawing rats are beneficial, because when we built our house again after the first and burn, we didn't have any furniture, and I went to work one day and I come home and it looked like a new suit of furniture in the house. And I asked Debbie where the furniture come from, and she said there's a little rat got under the cushion and ate a hole in his mama's living room suit, and she said she wouldn't have it after the rat ate a hole in the bottom of the cushion. So I got a brand new, I told her go in there and get a piece of a washcloth that's the same color and just sew that little hole up. But the rats are in the wintertime are hungry. This is Appalachian. If Appalachian people are poor, then their rats are a lot poorer than other places. And in our church, I had my anointing oil, olive oil, and I would anoint people, pray for them, and I left the lid off of the anointing oil, and I couldn't find the lid, and I anointed several people, and then I realized I had a dead rat in the anointing oil. I could see a lump in there, and I recognized him to be a dead rat in there, and I didn't get too many takers on praying for them anymore. They wouldn't come up and get anointed. They sprayed I'd have a rat in my anointing oil. But I was going to tell you about Appalachia and old hats and hungry rats. This is our little graveyard for Miller's Holler Community Church, and this is a friend of mine's grave. Travis Beard. He was married to Susan Kelly, who I grew up with, and he got killed on a motorcycle on May 14, 2016. But Travis, our little graveyard here, Travis and Susan paid to have it surveyed out, and they also paid for the health department to okay it. And Travis made the statement, he was a minister, and he made the statement that this was probably the only piece of property he would ever own. But he's got a pretty little grave here, and we just wanted to show you our graveyard and our little church and all at the top of the hill. But we're going to walk through our little graveyard here and let you see these. Let's walk down here to the steep. This is Skeet's grave. He was a friend of mine. He passed away with cancer back in 2019. And him and Rose have been lifetime friends of me and Debbie's. And he got a pretty, we got him fixed up, we got him a pretty gravesite here. And the rose is appropriate for it being, his wife's name is Rose. We'll walk up the hill and we'll go through a couple of these other ones. If you'll step around on that side, we can. I've got a friend named Todd Eltz, and this is his sisters. Both of his sisters are buried here, and we've got headstones that we're gonna have made, and we're gonna redo these headstones. But Miss Katie, she died a tragic death. They found her under a bridge over there on 431, and I don't remember exactly what Teresa passed away with, but that's these two graves, and they're going to be properly marked and fixed up. Let's go up the hill a little bit. this is Jeff Oliver's grave, and as you can see, we just poured the concrete around it and set his headstone yesterday. Me and his brother Danny, his wife Marlis, and Don and his wife Gail was here, and we did the concrete work. And this is his brother Ricky, who was lifelong friends. From the time I was a little child, me and Ricky, I made his head, I put his, it's hard to read it, but I put his headstone in here and made this little place. He died in 2014. After I get this wood off here and put some gravel in these will be real pretty graves. Let's go over here too. This is my wife's brother and sister. And Mary died of a heart attack back in 2010. And Billy had cancer. They both died young. I call it young, in their 40s and 50s. But we recently got these headstones for them and fixed their gravesite up. And for the next one down here, Elizabeth, if you want to...
No, you go ahead.
You don't want to...
You go ahead.
Okay. This is Kenny Fulmer's gravesite. We're going to get him a headstone and get him fixed up, but he was Elizabeth's husband, and he passed away 2016. He passed away in 2016, and we're getting him a headstone made like Jeff's, and we're going to have our grave. But this is our pretty little graveyard for our little church, and what a wonderful little place it is up here. It's quiet and peaceful. As we walk up the hill, we're going to walk back towards the church now. We've got our statue. Every time you come up the hill, it seems like Jesus is bigger there. I think there's somebody standing there, and I'll look and it'll be there. My cousin Dennis worked for a nursing home, and there's a lady in there that donated the angel and the figure of Jesus to us. What a beautiful day it is. It's fall of the year 2021. We'll walk up the hill towards the church and the fellowship hall. This is our fellowship hall for our church, and it's also got our bathrooms inside. These are some carvings that I do, that I decorate with, but the building, we've got a big auditorium to having family gatherings and funerals and such in here. got a kitchen and all, but we built this I believe it was 2001. We built this building. It started around 2001, and it took us 3 or 4, 5 years to piece it all together. This is our church house.
And you just had all this cleaned off, what, 3 days ago?
The leaves are falling, and this is our church house. This is the guardian angel that stands by the door, and we built this the fall of '96. In the spring of '97, it took us to piece this building. Shiloh Baptist donated us all the pews and the carpet. And, of course, the carpet's faded now. We're gonna have to replace it. But this is our chapel, and what a wonderful little place it is. It's there's some wood carvings in here, you know, but it's a blessing. Oh, what a beautiful view that is to be here in while I'm here, I'm gonna blow a little harmonica tune to just kind of get us in kind of give us a little music to go along with our walk. But as you see, the trees, the leaves are raining down around us, and it's beautiful fall of the year. We'll walk on farther. This building, a lot of people donated their time and money. When we got this building finished, we didn't owe but $3,000, and we paid it off in 2 years. So it was done by the grace of God and through other people that helped us. There's a inscription right there on a little. Says June of '97 is when that little ramp was finished. That's the summer we had our most services in it. Show them the little. We'll walk over here and we'll see this. This is an 047 Alice Chalmers tractor that runs that I traded Frank Click out of. And that's an old Amish buggy that Roger Johnson donated to us. And the sign says simple gifts, and that's basically what this is. A blessing to have these. That's my brother's old Ford truck that he got in 1969. We still got that old truck sitting there. I got this old 55 Ford tractor from Frank Click, and I use it all the time. And there's one we bought from the neighbor, a Japanese tractor. Here's my workspace where I do my little bears. That's some bears that are in
Process.
This is the cabin that I built my granddaughter Monica when she was in high school, and my daughter Elizabeth. After Monica married and moved away, my daughter Elizabeth lives here now. You want to open the door and just kind of give them an idea of what it looks like inside. You introduce your dog, Toby. This is the house where me and my wife Deb lives, and I built this when our house burned in 1998. We moved in this house, we built it. And on June the 6th, 1999, a year and a day later, we moved in this building. We had lightning strike our trailer, had rooms on it, and burn it down. And now also this house caught on fire again in 2014, and we got it put out. But I want to show you our, just step up here, our little cabin. This is my cabin. This is my hideaway where I go and be when I want to be by myself. This is an old truck that I'm piecing together, an old 30. I put a 35 Chevrolet truck school bus front end on it, and I'm building it all out of wood. We can step around this side and probably look at it. But as you can see, it's a working, it runs, but it's a working progress. But and also this is a gift from Miss Laura Salmon. Her husband, Fred, bought that truck brand new in Odessa, Texas. And when he passed away, she kept it for probably 20 more years, and she asked me if I wanted it for a work truck to work around the church with, and it's a blessing. It's a good old GMC truck, but I don't think I could have gotten by without my friends and my family to help me. And this is our little ministry here in northeast Alabama in a little community called Miller's Holler. And we founded this place. It wasn't anything but a well house up here in 1994. With the help of friends and family, it was founded, and we've been a church since then. So we want to thank God. I wanted to show this to the people about the place that we live. And I wanted years ago, when I did that old hot construction work, I wanted a place in the hills. I was raised in this holler, but it was a different area. But I wanted to live in a place where it was quiet, with solitude. And this has been the place that God has given me. I turned 67 last Sunday, and it's such a blessing to be here, such a gift from God. And we'd like to share it. If y'all like to get up on Sunday morning and go to church somewhere, you could come in. We have a service every Sunday morning at 11 o'clock in our chapel. So is there anything you want to say, listeners? Okay, we want to sign off with that right there. We'll try to share it with you. Bethlehem, shining apart through shadows dim, giving light for those who long have gone, guiding the wise men on their way unto the place where Jesus lay. Beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on. Oh, beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine upon us until the glory dawn. Oh, give us thy light to light the way into the land of perfect day. Beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on. Oh, beautiful star, the hope of life, guiding the pilgrims through the night, over the mountains till the break of dawn, and to the light of perfect day, it will give out a lovely day. Beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on. Oh, beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine upon us until the glory dawn. Give us thy light to light the way into the land of perfect day. Beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on. Oh, beautiful star, the hope of rest, for redeeming good and blessed. Yonder in glory when the crown is won. For Jesus is now that star divine, brighter and brighter he will shine. Beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine on. Oh, beautiful star of Bethlehem, shine upon us until In the holy book we find there's a story so alive. It tells how Jesus stood along the way. False accused and there condemned, yet they found a fault in him. The man who was scarlet robe. In the common judgment hall, he was mocked and scorned by all. Tears and sorrow fell upon his shield. Souls of a wicked man, they smote him with their evil hands. The man wore the scarlet robe. Purple robe, my Savior wore, for the shame before. And he stood alone, forsaken on that day. False accused and they're condemned, yet they found a fault in him. Man with a scarlet robe. Word of truth that they proclaim, from the lips of Pilate came. I find no reason why this man should die. But the multitude then cried, let him now be crucified. Man who the scarlet robe. Purple robe, my Savior wore, for the shame of me. And he stood alone, forsaken on the way. There they placed upon his head, piercing thorns of sacred. Man wore the scarlet robe. This fiddle I built in 2011, and it's my favorite fiddle, and as you can tell I ain't real particular about what a finish looks like on one.
Show them the head.
And it's got a little wild boar head, got a peg, and got brambles and briars carved all down the side of it. And these are some of my friends who have signed this. I used to be in that band called Hair of the Dog with Barbara, and this one, I had it in a homemade case, and I had my old rat rod, and I set it on back of the truck, and I forgot to set it down in there, and it bounced down the road, and a man found it and brought it back. And it's got entirely a different and they sound so much different. This one's got a low tone like a cello. Hear the difference there? The difference is that I wasn't putting a bass bar inside of them back then. I would just build the fiddle. It would help if it was in tune, but But anyway, the comparison of the two, they're both just primitive fiddles. I don't bend the wood, I just cut the sides out with a jigsaw and glue them together with stuff that cherry wood that I got right there. Jack Nelson was cutting a tree up probably 20 something years ago, and I come by and it was a cherry tree. And I went up there before he got it cut up for firewood and asked him if I could have the trunk, and he told me I could, and I made fiddles and gun stocks. I'll get a gun and show it to you that I made. Hold on just a second. This here's a
edit. Because you might cut slow.
Maybe too long.
I'll bring it out in the sun. This is a squirrel gun I built out of that cherry wood that I got from Jack. And I found the barrel. I found the barrel at a trade day, and it was bent in a fire, and I straightened it and carved the stock, and I built the trigger guard, and in my forge I built the trigger guard. I got this built and I shot a stump with it and hung it on the wall. I hadn't even hunted with this gun. But
Your name is?
Mitchell Gibbs.
And you live in where?
Alabama.
Miller's Holler, outside of Batalla, Alabama. I'm 66 years old. I was born in 1954, and we moved in here in 57. And this is some of the things I like to do, just work with my hands. And it's not fine crafting like a lot of people does, but I can make them where they function, and they do work. I have hunted with my guns, and I played music with my fiddles, and so they are functional. Not just artwork, but functional. So anyway.
All right.